In other news, Activision is not going to be at E3 this year. Activision has determined that they don't need the booth, and they are going to be demoing some of their games. Notably, I think the new Call of Duty by Infinity Ward. They will be demoing at the Sony booth. They just don't need their own booth. This comes on the heels of E3 of EA announcing that they are not going to have a booth at E3 this year. This is leaving E3 looking pretty barren, and I really think the days are numbered for E3. There's a reason for this. E3 used to be something really exciting. When you had game magazines, you always looked forward to E3 coverage. You always wanted to see what was new.
Before
E3,
the interwebs.
Yeah, E3 was packed. Even when the internet started to become something that was in most people's homes, the ways to get this info out there quickly was much quicker, but it wasn't. It still took time. Oddly enough, because Nintendo is usually slow on technology, I think Nintendo was the first company to really realize how pointless E3 was. When they basically dropped their E3 attendance, did small little, did a conference, and then did their Nintendo Directs. Why? Because most people who are going to be playing video games have an internet connection, have a way to do this, and they can show you. You don't have to read it through a filter, through someone else.
Yes.
They show you exactly what they want to show you. They show you the games, and you get this piecemealed out to you throughout the year, so you can get excited about their games throughout the year.
They do like 4 a year? About?
I think more than that. I think
5,
some
6?
years. So
direct advertising instead of going through someone else. Exactly.
Right. So, I mean, other companies realize this too. Online magazine article, online website articles, trailer videos, all of these things are now accomplishing what E3 used to be needed for. And with big players like Nintendo, EA, Activision gone, that's not leaving you with a whole lot.
Well, you're always going to Nintendo's going to be there doing something.
Well, yes, I'm talking about floor presence.
Well, Nintendo always has their big stuff there, don't they?
No, I'm fairly certain Nintendo hasn't had anything for 2 or 3 years.
Well, I did 3 years ago. That was there.
Okay, then maybe 2. I mean, they announced that. I mean, I know they have something I believe with the Treehouse, but they don't have they don't have the presence that they used to. I'm almost positive. If you look at the current floor plan for E3, they're not on there.
Oh, is there one? I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, unless it was a joke, but I don't think it was.
Well, isn't also is EA not going to be there?
I already said that.
Okay.
So, anyways, you threw me off. So, anyways, E3 is not needed anymore.
It's not. Blanket statement. Fuck it for everyone.
I've had we've sent employees up the past 2 years. I've never had any interest in going, not since like 99, 2000. And you know what? The one guy went 2 years in a row because it gave him a break from family duties. And last year, one of our other employees went because he had never been. But the report back was never positive. It was always like, oh yeah, we were at E3 for like maybe 3-4 hours. The rest of the time we were just bombing around LA, eating, doing stupid shit. I just don't think there's anything there to see anymore.
So I'm just going to say this about E3 and coverage in general. I've always spoke about how the mainstream gaming sites are dying out.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like game trailers dying out because it's shifted. You can market directly to people easier with the internet, with YouTube. So instead of EA having a big booth where they're spending potentially $100,000 or more on it, could be a lot more than that, I don't know.
Probably a lot, though.
Make your promo videos, put them on your YouTube channel, fly out 5 or 10 big YouTubers. They can play a beta version of your game, hell of a lot less, and then you get them to spread the word for you in their own videos. Well, it's done. It's absolutely done. You don't need to hire 50 people to work your booth. All the costs of transporting all that shit, the booth space, the prep time and all that, the breaking down time. It seems like a ton of work when the output is getting diminished each year.
Right.
So that's where we're headed. I'm not saying you won't have an E3 in 5-10 years. You're probably always going to have it for stuff like indie games. It probably still always makes sense, or smaller.
No, it doesn't.
Hardware. You still think it does?
No, because you have things like you have things like Indiecade. You have the IGF. What was it? There's like 3 very large indie game festivals that basically cover anything. Basically, are the E3 of that world. So yeah, there's no need for E3 for that either.
Oh. Or can I not? I'm not gonna be able to run into Hulk Hogan anymore while I was walking.
It's just gonna be an empty hall at some point, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if within the next 5 years it's done.
You heard it here, folks. 2021, no E3, no more Christmas.